The Galaxy Note 8. When it was announced, I was a little disappointed. But now that I've spent over a fortnight using Samsung's latest flagship phablet, have my feelings changed? Well, let's find out in today's video. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case the price tag has given you amnesia, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and welcome to our full review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. But before we start, we're up here burning the midnight oil, working hard on our videos, so if you do end up actually liking what you see, please smash that like button, subscribe to C4E Tech, and click on that bell icon. It means a lot to us. With that out of the way, let's get the show on the road. So let's begin with the build. The Note 8 on paper reads like a larger S8 Plus, but in reality, it feels quite different. It is not quite like night and day, but nonetheless, in hand, the difference is noticeable. The Note 8 is taller, the display's edges curve quite sharply, the display itself is larger by 0.1 inches. The Galaxy Note 8 with a thickness of 8.6mm and a weight of 195 grams is thicker and heavier than the S8 Plus, but doesn't really feel bulky. It adds an industrial sturdiness to the premium in-hand feel, yet that slippery glass back also brings with it familiar smudges and fingerprints. Well, if you wanna avoid it, you could be like me and use a rebrand scan on yours. Overall, while the Note 8, like most flagships these days, is not an ergonomic marvel, I like what Samsung's done with the build with regards to the quality and the looks. There are two major pain points though. Number one, the fingerprint scanner placement. You know it was coming. It's placed too high for people with even decent sized hands. Well, I could have overlooked it had it been better. Yes, there you go. I said it. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Samsung's fingerprint sensor is hours slower than that of the competition. And while it was okay a few years back, even last year it was still passable. But Sammy continuing to use a similar sensor again this year is really pushing it. That said, it is still just nitpicking because this scanner does recognize my fingerprint like 9 times out of 10, but it just grinds my gears when it fails to unlock the phone after all the finger gymnastics that it makes me perform, especially when phones that cost 1/10 of what the Note 8 does offer better fingerprint scanners. It's just annoying, and let's leave it at that. That said, Samsung does still offer an iris scanner which is super accurate. Radley failed. The two-step process to launch it makes it not as convenient as a fingerprint scanner, but it works very well and is kind of futuristic and cool. Every time I had to use it to authenticate for Samsung Pay, I kind of felt like I was a futuristic Robocop. I know, nerd alert, but yeah. On that note, Samsung Pay. The Note 8 supports it and it's been one of my favorite recent developments in technology. Being able to leave my wallet at home while I'm out and about is something that I've now become quite accustomed to. One of the biggest talking points of the Note 8, a unique selling point or USP you could say, is that infinity display. At 6.3 inches, it is quite immersive. The Super AMOLED tech at play means inky blacks, excellent contrast, and a Quad HD Plus resolution that is 1440 by 2960 means a pixel density of about 520 pixels per inch. Now that's extremely sharp. This display is a sight to behold. Everything you do on this phone looks great, be it pictures that you snap or content you watch. And for you streamers out there, the Note 8 has support for HDR10. So if a streaming service like say Netflix offers HDR video, the Note 8 can take advantage of it, giving you a much wider color gamut. It's not something I can capture here given that I'm shooting 8-bit, but it is excellent. There is absolutely nothing to complain about this display. And oh yeah, by the way, it also happens to be covered by Gorilla Glass 5 for protection, and the same Gorilla Glass also wraps around the back. And it's to this back that you find those awesome dual cameras. Now here at C4E Tech, this is a very controversial topic for us. One of us, Sundar, isn't a huge fan, and you've seen him make his case, and here's a card to that. Now here's me making mine. I adore these cameras, and this is why I think these cameras are quite excellent. Now let's get the cons out of the way. Compared to the iPhone 8 Plus, the Note 8's cameras don't produce the most natural of colors. Barring that, they are quite evenly matched. Evident by the same 94 rating both phones received from DxOMark. Again, DxOMark, every flagship gets the highest rating that's there, but still, for what it's worth, they match. Outdoors, under good light, the Note 8 performs excellently. There's a lot of detail, the images look vivid. Yes, a tad oversaturated, I agree. But here's the thing, right? A little bit of saturation is not bad. It makes the images pop, even more so on the AMOLED display. If I wanted perfectly natural colors, I'd shoot it with my DSLR and then I'd probably put it in Photoshop and crank up saturation. That's just me. That's just me. That's You go check out any popular YouTube video, the thumbnails on it, or you go check out anybody's Instagram picture. Colors are always a little bit boosted, or any brands, any kind of release pictures, as in like press images. It's all with boosted colors. We kind of like saturated colors, and I guess that's what Samsung does. Not justifying it as much as I say I like saturated colors a little bit. You can be right in saying you like natural colors, but this is how it is. It's not all that bad. Anyway, if you were probably shooting a pic to capture a moment shared with family, social media, I like that little saturation boost that Samsung does bring with it. Under low light, it's again excellent. Yes, the iPhone 8 Plus does perform a tad better, but Samsung does provide complete manual control. Only for the primary camera, but that still means, if you know what you're doing, you could get much better shots with the Note 8. Not that the auto shots aren't good, they are quite excellent. Given the larger sensor along with a wide f1.7 aperture, there's a lot of light being captured. Now the live focus mode is also an excellent addition. The secondary camera helps detect depth and helps you select the right amount of bokeh or background blur to the scene. You can even change this after you've shot it. It is worth noting that the effect isn't always perfect, but that is how it is with most phones, so can't really complain. Additionally, Samsung does allow for dual capture. So say for example you're shooting a live focus picture, but you also want the wider image, you can get that done. The picture from the primary camera is also captured, and this is a nifty little addition. As far as video goes, the Note 8 maxes out at 4K 30fps and shoots some of the best quality video on the Android side of things. Good detail levels, dynamic range with reasonably accurate colors. Yes, the new phones outdo the Note 8 thanks to super smooth 4K 60fps support, but again, here's where the Note 8's manual video controls, something only 3 brands currently offer. Any guesses as to who the other 2 are? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that means even when I do have an iPhone 8 Plus in the office, the Note 8 is my camera of choice for outdoor footage. Well, it's Sundar's camera of choice for outdoor footage too. Just saying. That is how versatile this guy is. It's also worth mentioning that the Note 8 is the first phone to provide video stabilization, or rather image stabilization, on the secondary camera. Now, to give you an example of how impressive it is, here's a side-by-side of handheld video shot using the secondary cameras of both the Note 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus. As far as selfies go, again the dynamic range is impressive. There's quite a bit of detail, the wide aperture and the wide angle lens are definite positives. Now underneath the hood, the Note 8 is powered by either a Snapdragon 835 chip or Samsung's own Exynos 8895. We've tested the Exynos variant and the performance has been great. It performed admirably with synthetic benchmarks, and with day-to-day usage, again the Note 8's been quite good. This phone currently runs on Android Nougat with Samsung Experience 8.5 on top. It should receive an update to Oreo soon. Like I said in the unboxing, most of the software features are familiar to anyone who's used a Samsung phone or even seen S8, S8 Plus coverage, but the Note 8 has some nifty tricks up its sleeve, and most of them involve the S Pen. The S Pen is what sets the Note 8 apart from the rest. Well, like I've said in the past, the stylus isn't as important as it used to be, but using this phone for 2 weeks, using the S Pen for 2 weeks, made me realize why I fell in love with it in the first place. It's really convenient at times, whether it's just copying text, live translation, or using it to play a Sudoku. I loved using it. There are some fun features that Samsung's thrown in too, like for example, Live Message. Live Message lets you create and send GIFs the way you write them. Then there's Screen Off Memo that can be pinned to the always on display now. Another cool feature that Samsung's brought with the Note 8 is App Pair. This lets you set 2 apps that you use in multi-window mode to be launched at once. Now here's the fun part, right? Samsung at the launch event was showing this off as a new feature and people were like clapping and all that. But I was wondering, haven't I already seen this? And turns out this is a feature Samsung already had way back on the Galaxy Note 3, or maybe it was the Note 2. Anyway, it's here now and the implementation is great. Overall, the user experience here on the Note 8 is splendid. The phone is quite fast and smooth. Thanks to 6 gigs of RAM, it doesn't reload apps with regular day-to-day usage either. And with that, let's now talk battery life. Now, this is one area which I was very wary about at the launch. The Note 8 sports a lower capacity battery than the Galaxy S8 Plus, 3300 mAh compared to 3500 mAh, and I expected it to do about 10% worse. And it did just that, more or less. Maybe a tad better than I expected, but the battery life was almost what I've come to expect from a S8 Plus. A full day of light to moderate usage on a single charge. And even on days of intense use where I used GPS, shot a lot of pictures, was on calls for a couple of hours, casual gaming for a bit, streaming videos for a couple of hours, even on a hectic day like that, the Note 8 managed to get me through to the end of the day. I mean, I agreed it was only around 8 or 9 p.m. at night and I had to plug it back in, but it still managed to get me there. And once you plug it back in, it charges up quite quick thanks to fast charging, and the fast charger is included in the box. You don't have to pay extra or anything, just throwing it out there. Headphone jack is also there. Anyway, it's also worth mentioning that the glass back means the Note 8 has support for wireless charging. Now that's not included in the box. Anyway, finally, before we wrap up, let's quickly talk Bixby. With the S8 and S8 Plus, Bixby drove me nuts. It was this annoying panel and hardware key to the left that I kept hitting accidentally, and Samsung wouldn't let me remap it. But now, first Samsung lets you turn the key off if you hit it, so that's cool. Thank you, Samsung. And secondly, with Bixby voice, Bixby is actually useful. I don't use it a lot, but I do have a couple of key phrases set up. So for example, when I say good night, I have it set up to turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, turn on the night mode, dim the brightness, etc. And do the exact opposite when I say good morning. It's great. The voice recognition is not on point, so a lot of times I had to hit the key, or, well, at least there's a key, right? Anyway, or I had to say it multiple times. If the voice recognition gets better, Bixby might just be something I consistently use. So back to the original question, has my 2 weeks with the Note 8 changed my excitement levels for the Note? The answer is yes. The S Pen made me realize how much I've missed using it. The phone that I've switched to now for my next review, the iPhone 8 Plus, and as fast as that phone is, I do find myself craving for the S Pen from time to time. The cameras are excellent, especially for low light and videos. The manual video controls are a godsend for a content creator like me, so I do find myself quite happy with the Galaxy Note 8. So do all these justify the 68K price tag? Well, yes and no. Something like the OnePlus 5 can definitely get you 70 to 80% of what the Note 8 can at 40% the price. So no, the Note 8 is definitely not the best value for money. It is not going to get you the best bang for your buck. But what it is going to get you is an extremely refined experience on the best display that money can buy, great cameras that you can trust, along with an unrivaled stylus experience that only the Note series offers. If any of this sound alluring to you, then the Galaxy Note 8 is the one to go with. So that's it for my 2 cents on the Galaxy Note 8. If you hated this video, you know what to do. But if you did like it, if you did find it useful, and do share this video with anyone you think who'd be interested in a Galaxy Note 8. Also, thumbs up. And hit that subscribe button if you have already hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell icon or ring the bell to make sure you get notified each time a new video goes live here on C4E Tech. If you do want to pick a Note 8 up, I'll leave direct links in the description below. Also check out our sponsors, Dbrand. There's a link in the description. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this here is Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off. You guys have a great day.